their back, and it's actually coming from their feet.
Her suggestion?
It's as easy as going into a Good Feet store.
Come in for your free arch support fitting.
The benefits of hemp and CBD products are well known, but always choose a knowledgeable vendor that you can trust. The Hemp House carries products that are locally sourced from farmers we work with directly. The Hemp House on the North Shore, Ooltewah, Eastridge, and Hickson.
Local Sky 3, bringing you the big local news from Unique Views.
The Northside Neighborhood House has provided a helping hand to Chattanoogan's on the north side of the river for almost 100 years now. And in just a few weeks, you can lend your hand to theirs by getting your ticket to the Not So Silent auction. We're so happy this morning to welcome the co-chairs of this year's event, Megan and Chad Goodman. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having us.
So we have to get people rowdy and excited because that's how you should come when you get your ticket.
Yes.
If you're lucky enough to get your ticket, because y'all are all, I mean, you've got a lot sold.
We have very few left. Yes, we've sold over 500. So better now than never.
Act while you can.
Yes.
So it's October 19th, just to let you know how much time you have to play with.
Yes, October.
And this is not a stately, come as you will, quietly raise your paddle event.
No. Do not show up in your tux
Okay.
or your long black dress.
Okay.
It's very unique and engaging, and there's a not so silent portion where you're holding up a paddle, hoping you're the last number called. And if you do, you win the item for that number.
Okay, so I'm not going to get in the weeds with this too much because I want to talk about the Northside Neighborhood House and how this all goes to support it. But sometimes I think auctions can intimidate people a little bit because they think, well, I might not have enough money to even enter the fund. This part is a fairly cheap entry fee, if you will.
It's very inclusive. Yes, we have several packages that we've been working for the last several months on putting together of donation items that range from $1 to $20.
Okay.
So let's say we have 30 or 40 items, and each one you pay that bid for your chance to bid. And you hold your card up until your number is called, and if you're last, you win before the gong. It'll last before the gong.
So fun. So you could potentially bid $5, right?
Yep.
And as long as you're, and hope that your number is the last one called.
Exactly.
And you win the kitty.
That's right.
Okay.
And it's a great kitty. They're all great.
And they're all really
they're all
good.
great.
Yeah, because last time y'all were here, you were talking about sponsorships and encouraging that from folks, and you got that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So let's talk about the Northside Neighborhood House, because it has been almost 100 years of them helping people, but it's not just to come and shop the thrift stores. There's a lot of education that goes into the Northside Neighborhood House, right?
There is a lot of education. So a favorite stability story of mine is a family came to the Northside Neighborhood House needing some budgeting assistance. The caseworkers at the Northside Neighborhood House sat down with this family. They looked at their budget and they saw that this family is spending an exorbitant percentage of their budget at the laundromat. You mentioned our thrift stores. We have all kinds of appliances and things in these thrift stores. The case manager was able to work with that family, provide them with a washer and dryer from the thrift stores that had been donated, and that part of their budget was then, the laundromat part of their budget was then able to be used for rent or utilities or other things.
Right. That is a perfect example then of how this all works full circle, because if you're watching and you do have something to donate and you're never sure where it really is going to end up, now you see how it ends up. And the family would not have had the resources because they were spending all that money at the laundry to purchase their own washer and dryer.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Conventionally.
Yes.
So y'all love it for these 10 years that you've been a part of it.
Correct.
I guess, Chad, because you see it working.
Yes, definitely see it working. And then this year, our special ask focus at the event will be on the community schools, which you mentioned education. So the Neighborhood House is now in 4 feeder pattern schools at Soddy Daisy, Sell Creek, Hickson, and Red Bank. And so this year, our special ask will be focusing on their expansion of those programs and providing those to more students, which also segues into, for some people that have transportation issues in the north end of the county, they can go to the school and get connected with caseworkers, and it all kind of comes full circle as they continue to expand their footprint.
So you mentioned the caseworker. If you are watching this morning and you're not, maybe you don't have a child in a school, can they come to one of the Northside Neighborhood House thrift store locations and talk to somebody? How does that
Probably not the thrift store, but the agency home is on Minor Street. in North Chattanooga, that would be a great place to start.
Okay.
Or a phone call.
And what they will do is you can talk with them, they'll hear your story, they'll take as much information as you can provide to them, and then they'll try to find some solutions to help you get more financial security in your life. Is that basically
Absolutely.
right?
A hand up to all neighbors.
So, for those who are going to raise their paddle to try to get one of the last minute tickets, they better hurry to the Not So Silent auction.
Correct.
There is, though, is the one auction that you and I have talked about, is that the only type of bidding that happens that night?
It is not. So there is a silent auction portion which is available online through the BidPal website. That will go live on October 7th, which
Okay.
I think is next
This weekend.
This weekend,
Saturday.
yes.
Yeah. So that'll go live October 7th. We're working hard to get all the items on there loaded up and ready.
Okay.
And then we will conclude the night with a couple of live auction, which is your traditional auctioneer, single person bidding at a time.
Okay.
Trips and events and dinners.
So, for the silent part that begins this Saturday, do they go to the Northside Neighborhood House's website or to the Not So Silent auction?
It should be through the Northside Neighborhood House
Okay.
website.
Okay.
It's nninhouse.org/events.
Okay, so there you see it. You can also get your tickets to the fun. Leave your tux at home. Those are very key words, Chad. October 19th, the fun starts. Thank you both so much for your work on this. We
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
Thanks for having us.
A personal injury case is like a jigsaw puzzle. If any piece is missing or overlooked, the complete picture cannot be assembled and the truth cannot be revealed. At Wedemark Keith, it's more to us. It's personal.
Welcome the new season with a deep cleaning by Stanley Steamer. Our certified technicians will renew your carpets, air ducts, upholstery, tile floors, and more, clearing away the dust and debris. We clean using powerful proprietary equipment and family-safe cleaning solutions to leave your space looking and feeling fresh. Call or go online to schedule your professional cleaning with Stanley Steamer today.
When looking for a worry-free lifestyle and companionship for you or your loved one, look no further than East Ridge Residence. We offer the most amenities, the largest apartments, and the lowest rates.
Come live your best life at East Ridge Residence.
Homeowners love their customer experience here at Chattanooga Stoneworks.
Free in-home consultations and complimentary design services to ensure that your project turns out exactly how you're envisioning it. Plus, the best pricing in Chattanooga.
Chattanooga Stoneworks is the trusted countertop provider for the townhouses at Gateway and the Red Wolf Stadium. They did my personal home too, and I couldn't be happier.
Call today and we'll have your estimate in minutes.
See the weather as it happens in downtown Chattanooga from the Local 3 Storm Alert Network. On air, online, and on the go. Stunning views from the top of the Dome building, presented by Warren & Griffin, your local 5-star law firm.
If you've been in an accident with any of these types of vehicles, the time to act is now. Wedemark Keith has been holding negligent drivers and their insurance companies accountable for years. At Wedemark Keith, it's more to us. It's personal.
It's hard to believe, but more than 1/3 of teenagers say they've been bullied in this past year, and more than half of those, 65%, report the experience had a lasting impact on their mental health. Kids certainly can't tackle this problem alone. Parents and adults need to also understand the impacts the behavior is having on young people, and that's why the Choose Kindness Project has developed something called the Parent Playbooks to provide proactive steps for adults to take. Dr. Yelda Ools is a child psychologist with the Founder Center for Scholars and Storytellers at UCLA, and she joins us this morning. Nice to talk with you.
Nice to talk with you, Julie.
So those are difficult statistics to hear. I'm a mom of 2, and I think back on how struggling it would be when my girls would come home. Every child kind of experiences some degree of bullying, if you will, but as a parent, knowing what to say is a difficult thing.
Yeah, I'm a parent too of 2, and often the child doesn't even tell you, and you find out later, and it does have a lasting impact. I mean, your opening actually really details why it's so important. And, you know, as many kids that say that they've been bullied only about 10% of them tell an adult. And that's why it's really important for adults, anybody in a child's life, to have resources to be able to draw them out and know how to talk to them about these issues.
How key, when you use the phrase how to talk to them, how key of a component is that in that is the listening to them? Because as a parent, you want to fix it.
Oh my goodness, I tried to fix everything, and now I have teenagers, older teenagers, and really listening, being compassionate, being open is key. And that is what these parenting playbooks do. They give you really just a playbook on how to address this issue with your child, active listening, open heart, not threatening to take their phones away or ground them, because they, you know, that's their lifeline. That's how they connect with their friends. And if you take it away, they'll shut down. So really figuring out the way to talk to them in a way that they'll hear and listen to.
I was having a conversation with my husband this morning. Our girls are both out of the house now, but about the challenge, I think, as a parent, to look at this little creature you bring home as his own individual person. If you don't know your child, you can't really parent your child. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Yeah, every child is different. And you know, they say unconditional love is the best, and it really is. You have to accept your child for who they are, and they are going to be different than you, and they're going to have different experiences than you. And the more that you can educate yourself and just really listen, you don't have to actually know every answer and solve every problem. As you said, if you're there on their side and you're listening and you're open and you are supportive, that's going to be a huge, huge thing. Keeping the line of communication open while still supporting them to make their own decisions is one of the most successful ways to communicate with your child.
I love the name, the Choose Kindness Project. So for our viewers, if they want to learn more on how they can facilitate these conversations at their homes, where can they go?
They can go to thechoosekindnessproject.org. It's a free website. You have these 3 different parenting playbooks. If you're a parent with a kid who's being bullied or is a bully, or just if you want to help your child choose kindness, there's also a proactive way. There's also resources for educators and coaches, all free on the site, easy to download, easy to read, actionable insights from all of these incredible organizations in the Alliance.
Great work on your part. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. And our thanks again to the Choose Kindness Project for the conversation this morning, something we all can try to do every day. We're back after this.
We called because we wanted to remodel our master bathroom, do a stand-up shower. So we called, and the guy came out the very next day and quoted us. He gave us great options. You know, the price was so reasonable as far as all the finance options as well.
Yeah, so when the design consultant came and they brought us all the different options, it made it easier for us because we were able to see everything that would literally be in a showroom. So with the one-day installation, you know, I became a believer. I didn't know how they were going to do it. They showed up at 8 o'clock, maybe even earlier. By midday, we saw the tub being removed, and by the close of business that day, we had everything that we ever dreamed of within a shower.
It was cleaned up and everything was really done nice. The caulking was done like perfect. Like it was a really good job.
Yeah.
It's really convenient now just to have a low threshold to get into the shower and nice grab bars right there. You know,
and it makes it feel modern.
Very modern.
Even for our mother, it's easier for her to get in and out now. So I think that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, with one-day installation I did not think that was possible to get a whole shower, you know, take out the old, put the new one in 8 hours was just...
Yeah, I was definitely impressed with how they did it and the quality. You know, for it being one-day installation.
The cleanup, not one mess left at all. I mean, he went over the instructions on how to clean it.
Right.
I love it. I can't wait to shower.
Yeah, me too.
Call now to get 12 months of no payments and no interest financing, plus $1,500 off your shower or bath project. Call West Shore Home now.
Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Rest up because the weekend ahead looks to be a very, very busy one between the Phoenix Fest music event going on in Cleveland. You've got the silent auction beginning for the Northside Neighborhood House on Saturday. More things I've already forgotten as the day goes along. And guess what? We get to do it all again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.
Got remodeling on your mind, but your space is too cluttered to get it done? Call All About Storage Container.